All right, so my name is Oscar. I work with Charlie Morgan. I have just gotten off a client interview with one of our clients. His name is Alexander. We got him to $13,000 per month with his agency in about a year, little over a year of working with us, which is pretty exciting. He's an awesome guy. It's an awesome interview. So yeah, stay till the end and yeah, let's hop into it.
All right, perfect. So I am here with Alexander from the program, which is pretty awesome. Alexander, you've been with us for how long now?
Yeah, so I joined December 2022, so yeah, a little bit over a year now.
Awesome. And Alexander, he's done some pretty awesome stuff with his monthly revenue in his agency. If I'm not mistaken, I believe you're doing about 15,000 a month right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, around there. So I think it landed in December. It landed at 13K. Not sure yet what January will be, but December was around 13K.
Okay, 13K per month. Awesome. So first things first, Alexander, I think it's pretty interesting to just hear like I want to take you through a framework of where were you before? What was the problem you got solved? And what does it look like now? So when you came on about a year ago, a little over a year ago, and you started with the program, why did you start with us? And can you just tell us, yeah, sort of where you started?
Yeah, sure. So when I started, I was basically a complete beginner within the whole SMA space or whatever. And I tried some different business models before. Um, but they totally failed. So I thought like, hey, let me just try this out. It seems like a really good thing for like at least beginners. You don't really need that much starting capital. So I started doing my own thing, didn't really see any success. But then I came across Charlie Morgan on YouTube. I really resonated with a ton of his videos. It was just different from a ton of other stuff I've watched. And yeah, he kept like telling in the end of the video, like, hey, there's a link in the description if you're interested. And I was like, let me see what this is about. And because I was really struggling, I couldn't like, I hadn't booked any appointments at all, didn't have any clients at all, and just felt like I needed like a blueprint or sort of like someone to help me to just show me what really to do because I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And yeah, then I just booked a call. Then I spoke to you, and yeah, the rest is history.
Okay. And so when you hopped on a call with us, for how long had you been running the agency before you booked that call with us?
I think it was only like a month in. I started like a month before and did a bunch of stuff, but yeah, couldn't really get anywhere. And yeah, so after a month, I decided to book the call.
Okay. And what was like the main problem that you had in the agency?
The main problem was definitely appointment booking at first. I did a ton of outreach manually and quite high volume, but I didn't really see any success. And yeah, that was also the main issue because I knew that I first need appointments, and then when I get appointments, I then can sort of go ahead and solve the other problems, which is like sales and closing, and then eventually delivery. But the first one was definitely appointment booking.
Okay. And then you joined us due to appointment booking. What did your journey look like once you had already joined us? How long did it take you before you'd solved that problem? How did you attack the program?
Yeah, so when I joined, I was very blown away with all the info. It was like a new way to see things that I really hadn't thought about before. And it didn't, of course, it took a little while to really get set up and also go through everything, but it didn't take that long for me to really get any appointments. I think I started to get appointments quite consistently in like January already. So it went quite quickly, and then I sort of moved on. Of course, I always tried to optimize the appointment booking system because it was doing all right, but it could do better. But then I also started to focus more on sales and stuff like that in that same time.
Okay. And what methods were you using to book appointments?
I started with mainly Terminator Loom system back then. It was that was the main one that booked a ton and most of the appointments. But I also tried like um sending DMs, cold calling as well. But Terminator Looms has been sort of the consistent one throughout the whole period.
Okay. And I remember you sending pictures inside the community of you like with fully booked calendars and stuff like that. Like what did an average day actually look like for you?
Yeah, so right now I don't have any problem at all, like filling my own calendar. And I can do like 9+ calls per day. So right now, I'm also onboarding like a sales rep, because the sort of bottleneck right now is myself, like being able to take the appointments. So an average day could be like 9 appointments, so it can be quite hectic. So right now I'm trying to onboard the sales rep, so I've sort of blocked out my calendar a little bit, because he's taking some, but it's still in the early stages, so I'm still taking a lot of them. But yeah, most appointments, and then of course I have some, usually 1 or 2 client checking calls every once in a while. But yeah, that's mainly it, like appointments, and then also checking in with clients and doing the service delivery.
Okay. It's kind of funny because, you know, when people hop on calls with us, the main problem is usually booking appointments, right? And then you start booking appointments, and then you figure out that you've got other problems in the agency as well, besides just appointment booking. And it's not sort of like, yeah, it's not only that problem. What other problems were you starting to face right after?
Right after I first started booking appointments.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say it was definitely like the sales, because at first, as you said, I always thought that, hey, as long as I can get appointments, that would be it. That's the only issue I'd have. But then I quickly realized, all right, you actually need to be able to sell this stuff as well on the calls. That was the first thing. And then after that, I realized, all right, I actually need to deliver for the clients as well. So there's always like a new thing coming up. But yeah, I would say first sales and then actually delivery.
Okay, I hear you. And have you sort of figured those out now, or are you still like working on those problems?
So sales, I think I have mainly figured out, and then now when I'm also onboarding a sales rep, and then the delivery side definitely. So the funny thing is, when I started out, again, I was a complete beginner. I was in one niche at first. I did like a ton of outreach, booked appointments, I got clients, but then like again, as I said, like there's always like a new problem, and when I realized the delivery side wasn't as easy as I thought. I did a decision to switch niche, and then I actually decided to work with other agencies, because I realized I got pretty good at appointment booking. So then it also just felt natural to sort of sell something I already could do for myself, that it was a very similar process for them. So that's also when I saw like the most success. Um, because I always thought like, all right, as soon as I get the clients, I will always figure out the service delivery, which I probably could, but it just wasn't as easy as I thought. But now when I'm actually helping people that I've done this for a long time now, it's a lot easier to sort of deliver on that service as well.
Fair play, man. I mean, obviously I've been in contact with you. Um, you've done something that most people don't do, which is impressive. What is the next steps? Like, you're doing 13K per month, you're just hiring a rep or a closer, I should say. What are the next steps with the agency?
Next step is just get the closer fully onboarded and just feel like he is fully like onboarded, knows everything, and it's just going. And yeah, next steps, like my plan is to scale this beyond like very, very high. I'm not sure where yet. And because I have this, I have no problem filling a calendar. So as soon as I have one sales rep, it's going good. I can just sort of scale the appointment booking systems and get even more. And then my plan is really just, yeah, I haven't, I think I wrote this to you. I like, it just feels strange now, because I've just had this like commitment that, all right, I would just grind now for a long time. I won't really think about like travel or moving or whatever. But now when I'm finally at my goal I had before, it just feels weird, because I have all these options and now I don't really know what to do. I'll probably start traveling soon. But yeah, it just feels strange to sort of be at this place where you can basically do whatever you want, because you have like a freedom in so many places, and you haven't like even thought about that, because it just felt so distant in the past. But yeah, first like just continue scaling the agency, but probably start traveling, and yeah, like traveling the world in the same time.
Okay. Have you experienced any form of lifestyle inflation so far?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, any form of lifestyle inflation, like has your expenses gone up any tiny bit since you since last
Yeah,
year?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, not super much. Like right now, I'm still saving a lot. Just save. I just want like a huge, yeah, saving to just feel that comfortable. But yeah, definitely, it comes with like a freedom. Now I don't really, it's mainly with like smaller things that are like more day to day. I don't really care because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. So small things, I don't really care like what it costs. So yeah, definitely, I've been spending more, but I would still say I'm quite responsible with the money as of yet. But when I start traveling, I'm not sure if that will stay the same. It might, yeah, just go overboard.
Fair play, man. If you didn't do this agency, what would your life look like? Like, let's say you just didn't join any program, right? Or let's say you did, but it didn't work. Like, what would things look like? Would you be going to 9 to 5? Like, what would your life look like?
So when I joined, I was still in university, and I had, yeah, before I did university, I did like military service here in Sweden. Then I came back, joined school, and I did all these different businesses on the side. So I always had a dream of like have my own thing. Um, but yeah, I went to university and I actually dropped out this summer because it then finally made sense because I was starting to make money. So if I weren't doing this, I would probably still be in school. That would sort of be ending next summer. So in, yeah, this summer, so in like half a year. And I would probably, yeah, start working some job I could get from there. I haven't really thought about it because, yeah, as soon as I started seeing, I've always had a belief that this will just work out in the end. But I would probably work in some form of 9 to 5 and don't really have the freedom I have right now or really be at the place I'm in right now.
Fair play. Genuine question. How big of a role do you believe that the program played a part in getting you to where you are? Because by speaking with you, Alexander, I've spoken with a lot of people. It sounds to me like it's not a question of whether you were going to make this work or not. It was a question of how quickly you're going to make it work, right? Like, it sounds to me like you've been going through different business models. You're not going to stop. Like, you're going to make this online thing work. But how big of a role do you believe that the program played a part in like shortening that learning curve and getting there where you are right now?
I think the program had a really, really big role because, yeah, as you said, I tried a bit different business models, but I think the main issue I had was that as most beginners do, they don't really stick to one thing. They try one thing out, and then when they don't see results too quickly, they switch. And I think that's the main issue because if you like most businesses can work, you just need to give it enough time. And when I finally decided to commit to the program and really invest time into this, and I also felt I was more stuck with it because like otherwise it would just be a waste of time if I didn't really commit to it. And definitely the program just helped me save a ton of time and also probably helped me think in a way I'm not sure if I would have learned in any other place. So definitely I think it shortened it very, very much. But yeah, again, I always had the belief I would eventually make it, but I'm sure it wouldn't be this fast or even close without the program's help.
Fair play. And what specifically about the program? Obviously, you used to term it a Loom system. That's for anyone who's watching a cold email system that we have with like automated Loom videos. But what specifically do you feel like shortened your learning curve the most? What is like sort of like the hard skills, such as cold emails, or what's more like soft skills, such as mindset?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. When I first joined, it was more the old program structure. I don't exactly remember. It was very different, but it was still a lot of stuff, mainly around like foundations and how to really think. And then when the new program launched with also acquisition genesis and also the self transcendence, I think those two modules were huge because, of course, don't get me wrong, like all the different outbound systems, they are really, really good. But with the help of these really, really foundation models, you really learn to think in a way where you can simply go out there and build your own systems. And it's hard to be explained because it's just one of those things when you hear it, you just like that makes sense. And you can't, it's hard to explain how you thought about that before you learned this. But now I just have this mindset where, all right, I'm very confident in being able to like build different systems myself, be patient, sort of let the systems play out. Don't like be irrational and try to change things while things are testing out. So I'd say that those two are the main things. And then also, of course, like the self-transcendence, as I mentioned, like the mindset, also like completely mind-blowing. Like I hadn't thought about like how to really change my mindset in that way before. Mindset was also like a bit wishy-washy for me. You just heard a bunch of people talk about mindset this, mindset that. But now with the self-transcend, it's very tangible. All right, you just need learn exactly why you think as you do, and sort of how you could become that person you want to be moving forward.
Fair play, man. I used to get pissed when people said mindset was the main thing, and there's obviously this main thing. Like if you ask a lot of successful people, a lot of them will say it's the foundations, and it is the mindset. It's not the tactics. And I used to get annoyed, but a lot of the big people say it. So yeah. But Alexander, what about your family? What about your friends? Right now, you dropped out in the summer. What did they say when you did that?
So yeah, my parents, like when I explained first, when I just explained to them that I was starting to this agency thing, they were like, okay, like we don't understand, but yeah, it sounds fun. Just do what you do as long as you stay in school. Like they didn't really mind. They just thought it was cool that I was doing something on the side. Um, and then when I started like making some money, they were kind of confused. Like they didn't really understand. And when I dropped out, they didn't like fully agreed at the time. But yeah, like it's my own life. Like they understood but didn't really agree. But now when I'm like making more and more money, it feels like now the last couple of months they sort of understand like school wasn't for me and it's working out. So like they're very happy for me now. But in the beginning they were quite skeptical, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that goes for lots of people. Lots of people. How old are you now?
I'm 22 right now.
22. Good stuff. Like, yeah, good stuff. What about your schoolmates? Did they say anything?
So in university, so I have a couple of friends. Some are just very very like interested and happy for me, and yeah, some don't even really understand what it is, and yeah, most are happy. I'm not sure what they say when I'm not there, but yeah, I assume most people are happy and like think it's a really really cool thing that I sort of do my own thing now compared to yeah just staying with something I didn't really want to do or didn't really like that much.
Yeah, good stuff. One thing I also want to say is like it is really good stuff what you've achieved because most people that start these online businesses they don't become successful. So like you have achieved something that the minority have achieved, and you should also not undermine. I know you said the program helped you a lot, but you shouldn't undermine your own work ethic because the program is not going to get you there by yourself. Like you have to sit there in your room, put in all the work. So yeah, very good stuff, man. Um, if we go back in time and you could speak back to your older version, right? If you're on a call with me, with somebody else, so you have to sell it. Let's say you were more on the fence than you were, and you were leaning to not coming on board. What would you like genuinely tell yourself if you could speak to yourself?
So like my old self, my previous self,
Yeah.
yeah, so I would say like if you just commit, this will work. Um, and yeah, like you can either pay now, come into the program, learn sort of like the fast track to get where you want to go, or you can then don't do that and either pay with your time because most things are you will be able to learn yourself either by finding it for free or like just learning it by doing the mistakes. Um, but yeah, that's about most things. But I think some things you like it's just very, very hard to learn on your own. So you might be lucky and learn that, or you might not. So I would just say that if you're committed, and which I know you are, just do it because yeah, obviously I'm in the future, so I know it will work for you. So yeah, just do it. Yeah, just do it and then just stay committed and just do the work.
Fair play. How much longer do you think your learning curve would have been if you had to do this on your own without any help from us or anybody else?
Yeah, I'm not sure at all because yeah, again, as I said, like I think most things are you are able to learn yourself by trial and error, but some things I'm not sure if you will even learn them if you don't really have that sort of yeah coaching or program to help you, and especially some things in EasyGrow I'm not sure if I would have learned otherwise. So it's very very hard to say. Probably I would still be struggling. because it was like as soon as that clicked, like the foundations, I just felt I had like a direction to go and I knew exactly what to do, even though I weren't where I wanted to be yet. I still felt like, all right, it's not like that complicated if you just look at it in this way. I had like a direction, and the most painful thing in the beginning was feeling that I was doing things, but I didn't really know if they were even contributed, if I was doing the right things, if I was moving in the right direction. As long as I had that mindset where I was doing the right things, that was, yeah, it just helped me move forward. And I'm not sure if I would have ever figured that out myself if I wasn't like getting help from the program.
Fair play, man. Last question. Would you make the same decision on the call today, knowing what you know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I would, even quicker than I did. I did it fairly quick on the call with you, but I would do it even quicker now.
I was gonna hope you say that. If you said no, that would have been a little bit pointless, but all right, let's call it there. Yeah, let's call it there. Let's call it a day.